Hey, what's up guys? It's Pete here with MixBetterNow.com, and today I have a brand new plugin review for you. I want to talk about the Air and Earth modules from Eiosis and Slate Digital. But before I do that, please do me a favor. Please hit subscribe, please hit like, and please click on the email link below. And when you sign up, you will be sent your free swag bag full of all kinds of free things like multi-track sessions, mix templates, impulse responses, drum samples, all kinds of cool stuff. So please check it out. I have a session pulled open here in Pro Tools. I'm going to hit play in a second, but before I do that, I just wanted to show you guys real quick these two EQs, the Earth and the Air modules. They are taken from the original Air EQ by Eiosis, which is Fabrice Gabriel's company. This is a bigger picture of the EQ. And as you can see, Earth deals with the low end information and the Air deals with the highs. These are some of the curve shapes. But I just wanted to just touch on that real quick before we dove in. And this is what the plugin looks like. Here's the Earth and the Air. These are hosted in the virtual mix rack from Slate Digital, or the VMR, as I'm sure many of you know. You can find them in the left-hand side of the column with all of your other favorite EQs and compressors and harmonic saturators, the VCCs, all that good stuff. So right now I have this pulled open on the guitar solo. Just as I was listening and playing back, I just kind of noticed that I thought the guitar solo was a little bit dull, and I wanted to try and brighten it a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is just real simple. I'm just going to walk you through these plugins. We're going to put them on a couple different instruments. We're going to play around with the knobs, see how they sound. I'm going to exaggerate some things, obviously, just so you guys can really hear what they can do. But we're going to try and get everything to sound as good as possible. And let's have some fun. So this is what this track sounds like.
Are we going to get there tonight? When we get there, will it feel this right? Are we gonna get there tonight? When we get there, will it feel this right? I'll just drive. Do on my mind, yeah. Back when Elvis had his blue suede shoes.
All right, so let me pull the VMR back open, and let's take a quick peek at the Earth and the Air. As you guys can see here, there are two main knobs with each. Just to give you a little bit better of an explanation, the way that Air is described is it's a new type of filter that helps you to restore or add brightness to the sound while always remaining natural. And the Earth is described as bringing a deep and solid sub-lows. It can also be described as an adjustable transformer. And to me, that's really where I kind of, I would tend to agree with that analyzation of it. I find that the Earth in particular does kind of sound like a transformer in a box to me in a great way. A lot of the times I will print mixes out to my hardware. I'll run mixes out through my BAE 1073s, which have Carnhill transformers in them, and then I'll print the mixes back into Pro Tools or Studio One. And I love doing that because, you know, when you send audio through transformers, it just really adds some lovely weight and it gives it some harmonic excitement and just all these analog intangibles that are kind of hard to put into words that only analog gear can do. That being said, I really find that the Earth plugin does a great job at giving us this ability in a plugin format. Now, the Air is obviously much more of a brightness, high-end EQ knob, if you will. But both of these have filters in them. Now, there's a low-cut filter in the Earth, and there's a high-cut filter in the Air. Both have your standard Q or your bandwidth settings. We have adjustable slopes anywhere from 6, 12, 18, 24, and 36 dB per octave. And then we have a frequency range that we can filter out. On the Earth, we have anything from 5 hertz all the way to 10K. And then on the Air, we have anything from 30K all the way down to 20 hertz. So it's basically like the whole spectrum. I have it on the guitar solo. Like I said, it was a little bit dark sounding to me. So what I want to do is let's play with it. Let's brighten it up a little bit and see what it sounds like. So I'm going to solo it. It doesn't sound great in solo, but that's okay because it only matters what it sounds like in the context of the mix, right? Sounds like this. So I really wanted to add a little brightness. I'm gonna unsolo it and let's add in some air.
Back when Elvis had his blue suede shoes.
So hopefully you guys can hear that. It's definitely brightening things up in a great way. I'm just gonna mute the vocals for 1 second. And you'll be able to hear the solo more. What I love about these EQs is that they're so simple and they're so easy to use. You kind of set it and forget it. You throw them up. And, you just start turning the knobs. And let's check out the drum bus for a second. A couple days ago, I did a review of the brand new Slate Digital, the FG116 blue stripe compressors. I have 2 in here right now. This is the same track that I used for that video. I'll probably put a link below here so you guys can go take a look at that if you haven't seen it. But this was basically the same setup I had going on. And I just added the air and the earth afterwards. I'm using the VCC on the Brit 4KE setting here with the mix bus module. Doing a little bit of SSL EQ, cutting a little 530, and we're boosting some 3K, boosting a little bit of AK on the high shelf, and then we're doing some compression. We're on circuit 2 of the FG116, 4-to-1 ratio. Attack is at 2 and release as fast as it can go at 7. Here's what the drums sound like. I'm going to bypass this in and out, and then I'll turn on the air and the earth, and we'll play around with the knobs and see what they do. All right, I gotta move these because I always get confused. I feel like it's air and earth, but earth is first because it's a lower frequency, and I think of it as the like the frequency range on the spectrum. Anyway, earth does this amazing job of enhancing the low end and tightening things up and really bringing forth a lot of punch and warmth, really acting almost like a transformer. It's amazing because when I put it on other things like guitars or on vocals, it won't boost the low end and make it muddy. It'll just enhance it, and it will add thickness and weight and harmonics to it in such a pleasing way, where other one knob EQs won't do that. They will just strictly be a boost or a cut. But this does such a great job at it. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna bring it back to 0, and then I'm gonna push the knob forward so you guys can really hear what it's doing to the kick drum and to all the low end of the drums here. Right, so it really, really beefs up the kick. It brings it out front, definitely gives it some weight, and it kind of solidifies its place in the mix. Now, what's great about this is I want to show you guys what this filter does. Now, here's the idea. With the low cut filter, this is exactly the same with the air and the high cut, is we can almost tighten and arrange our EQ curves in very creative ways. Now think about it like this. So if we're boosting, let's say we're boosting our high end, and I know I'm a little bit backwards here, but so here's our frequency spectrum, right? 20 hertz and 20K. And if we're boosting a high shelf or a bell, whatever, we bring a filter in, we can kind of do this to it and push this up so we can get all these different shapes. Same as if we were coming from the low end, we could do a low cut and then we could boost here. And by getting these unorthodox filter shapes, it can really do some amazing sounding things, right? Think of like a Pultec, when you boost and cut that same low end frequency, you just get all these magical things that happen in a pleasant way. And this is a similar way to look at it. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting everything below 54 hertz, leaving the Q straight up the middle. I'm using a gentle slope of 6 dB per octave. And the reason I'm doing that is this is going to tighten up that low end. It's going to take out a bit of the subs and a bit of the low end rumble and all that kind of stuff that we're not going to need in the mix. And it's going to allow us to actually boost the lows even more. So check it out. I'm going to bypass it in and out. That's out. It's in. So it's just tightening it up all that little bit more in a really pleasant way because we're not going to need those sub frequencies. Now let's check out the air. I'm going to bring the air back to 0. Now all I'm doing with the air here is I'm just adding a couple dB. A little bit goes a long way. What you're going to hear and notice is the cymbals are going to be pushed forward. You're going to hear a lot more stick noise on the snare. We're going to really hear the chains in the snare. It's going to kind of be pushed in our face a little bit more, in a good way. It's going to allow it to really get through the density of the mix. Check it out. Just going to exaggerate it. Okay, again. So I really, really, really like what that's doing to the top end, to even some of the upper mids. It's really kind of lifting it and giving it some shine. And it's even giving it some punch. We think of punch, maybe more in terms of low end, but I think it's giving it some mid punch in a great way. And it pairs really nicely with this new FG116 Blue Stripe compressor. So again, the whole thing in and out. Right, just that little bit of earth and air is really taking the drums and just kind of elevating it to a really, really nice spot. Very quickly, I'll show you guys kick in for a second, and I will bypass this. So here's the kick in flat. The only thing I have on it is the VCC. All right, now I'm going to bring in, I've boosted some of the earth and some of the air. Again, on the kick out, you're going to hear less of that beater head attack. So this is dry just with the VCC. Now I have the air as far as we can push it, all the way up to 18. And when you put them together, they really work. And these are just two one knob EQs. Awesome. Really, really liking that. Got this on the snare bus. Let's see what this sounds like. Here's bypassed. This is earth. Just adding a little bit of girth, a little bit of weight. See what I mean before when I said that when you put earth on a non-bass instrument, so not a kick drum, not a bass guitar, not a piano, you're not going to muddy up the instrument. It's going to stay clear and defined, but you're really just going to kind of enhance. I wish I could find like a different word than weight, but it's just the way that it feels and the way that it sits in the mix and the way that it sounds. Very, very similar to what a transformer will do for you. I of course, I'm exaggerating some of these, pushing it as far as it can go because I want you guys to be able to hear it. Let's check out the air. Can really brighten it up. Now what I'm doing here is I am finding the sweet spot with the filter. I'm taking the frequency knob, and the way that I 9.2K seemed to have been it, but the way that I do it is I will start at 30K, just as on the lows I'll start at 5 hertz, and then what I'll do is I'll sweep back until it starts to sound where I like it. You could start in the middle and go either way, obviously, but I like to start here and do it this way. So the reason I'm using this is I don't want it to get too bright and too sizzly too fast, because with the snare drum that can absolutely happen. So this is out. I'm just going to roll it back and find that spot. If I go too far, it can get too dark. So like, I went all the way to 1K and the filter went past the sweet spot, making it too dark. Cool. So that's the idea with using the combination of, the boost and reduction knob with the filter. Let's check it out on the bass. I got a bass DI track. It was a little bit bright for my taste. That's the reason I duplicated it. I like to make the second track, sound like an amplifier. So I will blend the DI and the amp sound. But here is just the DI tone. Try to find a busier spot. Okay, so it's just a little bit anemic, and I wanted to give it some, make it feel a little bit larger and a little bit heavier. So the first thing I did was I just brought in a little bit of the lift. This is what it sounds like with that on. So I thought the perfect thing to complement that afterwards would be to put some earth on it. So here's what the earth sounds like by itself. cutting anything below 23. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the bass amp track and the bass DI, and then I put an instance of the air and the earth on the bass bus. So let's listen to it without it. I wanted to use some of the air because the bass player is playing with a pick here, so I actually want to accentuate that pick noise because the nature of the song, just the way that it is, obviously every session differs, but in this track, I really wanted to bring that pick noise forward. So that's why I chose to add the air, and the air does that really well. As you'll see on the acoustic guitar in 1 second, it really, really brightens up the pick noise in a pleasant way. So here is the earth module. Here's the air just by itself. Now here's both of them in. Yeah, really liking what that's doing. So that is the bass bus. Real quick, let's check out the acoustics. The acoustics in this track are meant to be a little bit more buried. They're not meant to be out front. They're meant to be in back of the electrics and the rest of the band and the vocals. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to add a little bit of air on them to let the percussive element of the pick come through. Here's what they sound like soloed. Now, in the band, here's what they sound like. So, you know, they're sitting okay. I like the way they sound, but I wanted to use the air to bring out some of that, like I said, that percussive element. So here's what they sound like in. And I'll try, and I just try. Down on 95, I got Jordan on my mind. It's a kind of time when the song is through the sky. So solo it up, they sound like this. Bring the air in. Now I know that sounds bright, but just like with any aspect of mixing, it doesn't matter what anything sounds like in solo. It matters what it sounds like in the context of the mix. So for me here, I really like what it's doing to let the acoustics jump out. Popped it on a vocal. What I do with the lead vocal is I always duplicate it to a double track. That way I can do a variety of things. I can EQ and compress each differently. I can run one vocal wet, one dry if I want to. The lead vocal is EQ'd and compressed and has its effects on it. The double, it's dry. It's not EQ'd. but it has a little bit of compression. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to use the double to add a little bit of fur underneath the vocal. Here's what the lead sounds like.
Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Reality TV's got me so far away.
So when I bring in the double, it's a lower volume.
Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Reality TV's got me so far away.
So what I did there on the double is, let me solo that. On the double, I popped the earth and the air on. We're giving both just about 5 dB of boost. That way I'm giving it a little bit of high end and a little bit of that transformer love. I'm going to bypass this. Here's what it sounds like dry.
Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Reality TV's got me so far away.
I'm just going to loop this section.
Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels.
So that's really giving it some nice lift. And then when I blend the two, I love the way they sound.
Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Reality TV's got me so far away. What happened to the old days of fiction?
And then we could even bring another one onto the lead vocal bus, and we could sweeten it a little bit more with this.
Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Reality TV's got me so far away.
So in the context of the mix, it sounds like this.
Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Reality TV's got me so far away. What happened to the old days of fiction? I pick up my keys and then I'll drift away. And I'll try. I just try.
Also have a little bit going on the harmony vocals, doing the same thing, just a little bit of the airlift and a little bit of the tightening with the earth. And lastly, real quick, I just want to show you another great place that you can use the air and the earth modules is on your mix bus. I think both of them sound fantastic together on the 2 bus, so here's what they sound like.
Sitting on the couch and I'm flipping channels. Reality TV's got me so far away. What happened to the old days of fiction? I pick up my keys and then I'll drift away.
And you could even do other kinds of fun, creative things, like if you want to take the air EQ, you could brighten certain instruments in certain parts. Like if you want to do an overall lift section for the chorus, and I don't know, you want to automate the air EQ like 3 dB up, you can do that so it pops a little bit, and then bring it back down for the verse. If you want to take another instrument and use the filters, like say if you want to put the high cut filter on the drum bus, you can automate it to kind of cut some of the highs so it darkens the drums a little bit. And then when the chorus hits, you can automate it so it's normal, and then it almost sounds like the drums are popping even more than they do during the chorus section. And there's all kinds of things that we can do with this. And you know, when you combine it with all of the other amazing plugins that Slate Digital offers, just in the virtual mix rack alone, it's really quite incredible what you can do. Highly recommend these 2 EQs. Highly recommend the virtual mix rack and all of the Slate Digital plugins. They are one of my favorite plugin companies out there, and I use their stuff all the time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was just a little overview and run through of these two new EQs, the Air and Earth modules from Eiosis and Slate Digital. You can check them out at eiosis.com and slatedigital.com. My name is Pete with Mix Better Now, and as always, I appreciate your time very much. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.